So after repairing cars on the drive for what felt like forever, I finally had access to my own garage. These garages were ideal for dry storage or just to park a small car in. They weren't designed to function as a small workshop. They don't have any electricity or running water, with concrete dust covering every crevice. I was determined to make this garage my dream workshop.
Well, there's the garage, guys, the new base for reviving Salvage.
My only option was to use solar power, 2 small solar panels and a small inverter. For the time being, I only needed lights.
Will it work or not?
That's all that's left, is to try it and see if it works. This worked for a while and I could stay at the garage longer, but eventually the inverter blew and I was left in darkness. For me to carry on working in this garage, I needed to take on board everything I've learned about the previous solar setup. I needed to invest in a bigger inverter, bigger solar panels and better batteries. To make this garage functional, I placed trunking to hide the cables for the plug sockets. I needed these placed on every wall so I didn't need the use of any extension leads, and Screwfix had everything I needed. The flooring was probably the worst part of the garage. Every time I moved a car or just used a trolley jack, the paint just flaked up and the concrete just crumbled into dust. Big Doug came to the rescue with these fantastic plastic floor tiles. These really did change the look and feel of the garage. A massive drawback to this garage was the lack of storage. I was forever losing my tools and I had nowhere to store them. I needed to utilise every corner of this garage, and those storage units from SGS was a game changer. Probably at the heart of every garage is a lift, and mine wasn't going to be any different. I always wanted a scissor lift, but the reality is running a lift without electric is pretty impossible. So I took the risk anyway. I had a vision in my head and I needed to give it a go. Sometimes in life you need to take the risks to achieve your dreams. I'm taking a big risk with this lift. They were never designed to function off batteries, but I wasn't going to let the fact I didn't have any electric stop me. I've been planning for this moment for months. After countless dark, cold nights spent rolling around on the floor surrounded by half-finished projects and scattered tools, I could finally see my dream workshop coming to life. With all the new additions, the journey has been tough, but the progress is incredibly rewarding and I wouldn't change a single thing. I honestly thought I wouldn't reach this point and I wanted to give up on countless occasions. This achievement is a testament to my hard work and dedication, and you could do the same with your own garage. It was finally time to test the inverter. Would it be powerful enough to even run the lift? A lot of people told me that it wouldn't work and I was wasting my time. That only fueled me more and I was even more determined than ever.
Very good.
Just trying to get the lift to power up proved to be very challenging. So this cable's a bit thicker than this cable. So when the lift was being pressed, it was drawing so much current and the wiring couldn't cope. So basically the current was restricted by the thickness of the wire.
Fingers crossed. What can I say? I'm absolutely chuffed to bits with my most recent purchase.
I couldn't believe it. I managed to get the lift to work, but the real test was, would it actually work with the car sat on it? Finally, I have my very own workshop.
In the garage today,
You asked for an update, I'm giving one to you. I've had a hell of a time with this setup, along with trying to run this ramp. So the ramp is there, and all this is run off solar power. A lot of you have been asking how I've managed to do it. Well, to be honest, it's been a real struggle, and I'm going to show you a bit more in depth of my setup and what I've done to try and get this ramp to work. Because after my previous video, I've tested it a few times, and to be fair, I was struggling a lot to try and run the car on the ramp and things, so I've had to do a bit more upgrading. Now the garage is, although we've fitted it out in the last episode, I've been working on the Audi S1 to get that MOT'd, so the garage is in a bit of a mess, plus I've had no power. Up there was my 92 amp 24 volt setup AGM batteries on top of there, but they weren't powerful enough to run this. And they basically, because we haven't been having any sun, they were dying. It wasn't even enough power to run the lights. Now all this is run off solar power. These garages, they have no electric, no water, no nothing. So I've kitted out this garage as best I can with what I've got. A lot of it was with permission of the owner. Some people are going to struggle if they wanted to do this sort of setup. I've drilled a lot onto the walls and things, and some people are not allowed to. We no longer have them batteries. I've got different ones. I'm going to pull this out and show you and what the issues are that I'm having, and go from there. And then we're going to try this up a bit. I've got a project lined up just there, plus something else. It's going to be a good video, but I haven't even touched them yet because I want this ramp working properly so we can just get cars in and out, up and down, do whatever, not have to worry about power. So when the Audi S1 was on here, I couldn't do a lot with the car, because if I moved it a couple of times, that would be it, the ramp would be dead. That's not good, so we need to make sure we sort that out. As you can see, it is full of wires and crap on here where I've been altering things, rewiring things for this setup in particular. I'll just pull this out a minute. Look at these bad boys. These are brand new 2024 batteries. Now these are 112 volt each, 170 amp batteries, and they're in banks of 3. So that is 12 volts, 3 batteries equate to 12 volts, and this equates to 12 volts. So these batteries are connected in parallel, so that means that the 3 12 volt batteries are connected together, with all the positive cables connected to each positive terminal, and all the negative cables are connected together to each negative terminal, keeping the batteries at 12 volts but adding up the amps instead. Then both banks of batteries are connected in series, with the positive cable from bank 1 connected to the negative terminal of bank 2 to make 24 volts and 510 amps combined. I hope that makes sense, because it blows my brain as well. Now, like I said, these are brand new, and I bought these off eBay. These power-safe 12 volt 170 amp AGM batteries have outstanding EON technology and are ideal for solar off-grid applications. They are maintenance free and are manufactured in 2024. I bought these from RECO Energy. RECO Energy brings you years of experience and knowledge. They specialise in selling cosmetically damaged new batteries or just old stock clearance. They also sell a wide range of fully reconditioned batteries. Reconditioned batteries are an excellent cost-effective alternative to new batteries. They are all sold with 6 months warranty, and they are all within 10% of the battery's original capacity, ideally suited for the second-hand car market. They also purchase scrap batteries at a very competitive price. You only have to take a look at their customer feedback and their positive reviews to see how good RECO Energy actually are. They pride themselves on excellent customer service, and they will be happy to assist you in the right choice of battery for your own needs. Most batteries come with free postage and 6 to 12 months warranty. RECO Energy, the cheaper alternative to buying new. Now, currently this inverter is showing 25 volts, or 25.2. Now I can change the setting just to show you. So my lights normally take about 3 amps, draws about 3 amps. It is charging off the panels, but the panels is coming through. You've got 106 volts coming through from the panels, and 23 watts. So it is charging them batteries because it's charging there, but whatever power is coming through from them panels is diverted straight to the lights. I have got, this is all additional now what I've done. I have got a battery equalizer here, and what this does, it equalizes all batteries, because when you're charging the batteries, you could have 1 or 2 batteries charging more than the others, and some become lower, which can in turn damage your batteries. Positive on the one side, negative on the other side, and then you've got a white one that goes into the middle, and then that balances them all out. So it should give the right voltage to each battery, and they'll all be basically equalized to the same voltage. Now that is working away, and the good thing about that is showing you the voltage of the batteries, and that was off, I think it was Amazon, I think it was £30. So that's, if I can find a link, I will put that in the description for you. I've got a breaker on here of a 200 amp breaker, which seems excessive, but I had an 100 amp one, which was here in a different setup. I run that lift and it blew it. So obviously this, as you can imagine, draws a lot of power, and that just blew it. So we needed to upgrade to a bigger one, and we can isolate the power. If I trip it, it'll trip it off as well, so it'll isolate the batteries. I have got this here, but it's not wired in yet. I did have it wired in, but because I've had to alter all the cables because they were up there, then I've got to wire this in. So that's where it's probably going to go, but I need more of these terminal connectors, which are a bit of a nightmare when you've got thicker cable. What I can say for advice, if you're ever going to do something like this, is try and keep the cables as short as possible. From the inverter side, I know I got the cover off this in a minute because we were wiring this. On the inverter side, I've got 2 lots of power now, and if you notice, I've got 2 boxes. Now this is the isolator for the solar panels, which come down and go into the inverter. I've also got these. Now I've got, this is the electric side of it, so if for the plug sockets and the lights. Now the lights are on a different socket, so if I trip that, the lights would go off, but I could still got power to the sockets if I wanted to. So everything has been wired up like that, so if anything trips out or I've had a power surge from anything, although with sockets you've got a 13 amp fuse or whatever is already fused there, plus it's also protected there before it gets to the inverter, so the inverter is protected, and that's what you need to make sure you do. We don't want any power surges rushing up to that and blowing it, so that's what I've done. Now this one is extra special. Now this is, I didn't have before, but works an absolute treat. Now this is only wired into the one, okay? Now this one, but I can add additional things if I want to, is wired to this. Now this is wired to my old generator, my generator that I bought. I bought this generator from Screwfix for about £350 about a year and a half ago, but for some reason ever since the energy crisis the prices have increased significantly, and now it's selling for about £450. It's an Impact 3000 watt inverter frame generator. It has a 4-stroke QL3 petrol engine and has a maximum 3000 watts of power, realistically more like 2800 watts. Now originally I bought this to help run the garage, but due to the fact I needed to film everything I did, the noise and fumes alone, it just wasn't practical. But it did work great, so I only used it for those bigger jobs, and then it went into storage until now. Well, it's wired to this now instead. Basically, I'm using the generator to charge the batteries when we haven't got any sun or if it's late, to keep these batteries topped up. So that runs through there. I can flick it on there, and then so I can isolate the generator from here and here. So if we had a power surge, it's also got a fuse in there as well, 13 amp fuse. So it's protected along the way, and then it goes into there and then runs into this, which is also earthed as well. So the blue and the brown are the generator and the earth as well. So it's all earthed. It charges them batteries and it puts in whatever them batteries needs. So this controls it, so it'll also take power from the solar panels plus the generator, and it works it. There's settings in there that you can alter for it to take power from off the grid or on the grid, just to supply you demand. I'll show you how that works. I'll go and start the generator. Basically I built, that's what all this is here. It's in a box and it's nice and safe, nice and dry, and I can go and start that if I wanted to and supply the power. Oh, you asked for more in depth, but that's as much as I can go really, because I know 100% myself how I've managed to do it. A lot of this I've done myself is trial and error. Now I want to improve this cabling because I don't think it's still not thick enough. So these are 700 amp cables rated for, so I think these are okay. I might need thicker cables, we'll see how it goes. But as it stands at the moment, it's working a treat. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and start that generator, and I'll flick this on to show you what it does here then, for those who's interested, and then we crack on with what I've got to do next. Now what I love about this setup now is the generator is running, but you can't hear it. It's really quiet now. As before it was really loud, I couldn't have the generator running and film. As you can see that the voltage coming in, and I'm going to flick that and you'll see this change as well. And currently we've got no sun, it's very poor, so what happens is these batteries are going to die eventually if I don't keep them topped up. So this is an alternative way of charging the batteries, which is in the UK, you know, it's dark by 4 o'clock and the solar panels are just there and the sun is right all the way down there, so it's not going to get much sun. So it's just shown now that little pylon, so that's showing it's taken off the grid. It'll flick over. And there we go, now that's flying in the charge. And if you can hear it, the inverter's kicked in as well. So that's working hard to charge the batteries. Now if I show you the wattage just coming in from the generator, go that way, it's now putting in 29 watts of power to charge them batteries. As before we were getting, well, less than 10 if that, I can't remember what it was actually. So, and that will obviously go down once them batteries start charging. And if you look at that, now if you look, this bank now, the positive side, it's gone up to 14.46. So this now, and this is flashing, so this side is saying this side is lower, so we need to take power from this side to put it this side. It'll equal them out to the right voltage. That'll start going up and that'll start coming down. But that is now charging them batteries, so whatever I use now should work and charge with no issues. You can run this off your generator. It don't work, I've tried. This draws so much current, like 2,200 watt I think. It takes a lot, alright? My generator is rated for 2,800 and it's not enough to run it. It throws up a fault, I've tried. So that's one of the reasons why I couldn't use the generator to run this. But I can use my generator to charge the batteries. That is a massive plus now, because like I said, the one day there was no lights, there was nothing, so, and then batteries are totally dead. We can't allow them batteries to die. They cost a fair bit, but they're brand new and they will last a good 10 years, and they are guaranteed on warranty. They do come with warranty, so that is an absolute bonus. People said, oh, I bet if you put a car on it won't work and things. It'll work with the car. It does flicker now and again, the lights do flicker because it draws a bit of current to start with, then it equals out. The only thing I think that lets this down is that cabling. I think if I increase the thickness of that cable, so it's really thick, I mean you need the really thick stuff, then I think that will cure that issue. The only trouble is with cable is it's really expensive. So I'm going to make do for now, and like I said, over time I'm going to make this a better setup, make it better every time, improve it, so bear with. But unfortunately, obviously I've invested a lot in this setup already, and I just needed to get it functioning for now and then work on it later as we go, like I am. Now, like a lot of garages in the UK, they're limited to a very small garage with no electric or anything, so you could do this sort of thing yourselves using a small inverter, some small panels like I did to start with. I run this with batteries, car batteries lying around for now until I got, and then I put lights in and things. So you can run a small garage of just little batteries, ideally leisure batteries and a small inverter, and work your way up. So next year I am going to plumb in water as well. Now that's going to be something extra, so we'll have water and power to this garage, and it's just going to get better over time. What's the measurements of my garage? So the width of my garage is slightly bigger than a standard single garage in the UK. It's 6 meters long and 4 meters wide at the front and 3 meters wide at the back, so it's slightly smaller towards the back of the garage. A lot of people are probably wondering what size ceiling height I've got. Now these garages are sloping downwards, so there is a lot higher at the front than it is the back. Now some people said, why don't you cut out the flooring for the ramp to sit in the flooring? Now I purposely didn't do that because I want, if I got anything bigger, I can move the ramp further forward because the roof is higher. If not, I can also take it outside and run it from outside and do whatever I need to do with that. This is totally portable and I can maneuver it wherever I want to suit whatever vehicle I'm using or I'm working on. So it's 250 at the front, 240 in the middle and 220 at the back. So that's how high the garage is. So if you've got something around about 240 in height, then this will work for you, because every car I've had on here so far, the KA and the Audi S1, will go to the full extended height for this ramp. Now this ramp lifts up to over 1 meter high, and then plus you've also got your car on top as well. So you just need to be mindful of that. So if you ever want a scissor lift like this, then you need to make sure you got the height. The width is not so bad because you can maneuver it to whatever you want to work on, really. So I try to keep it equal both sides. So I know that's a little bit boring for some people, but a lot of people are asking about the height and how wide's your garage, how have I managed to do this and that. I think that answers a lot of questions, because I've replied to loads in the comments, but there seems to be the same questions coming up all the time, and I thought, why not put in a video for everyone. Now I'm going to work on getting this sorted, because these need to be kept warm ideally. They're right by the front of the shutter. It's going to be cold and batteries don't like to get cold, so we need to, I'm going to be building a box for it to sit in there and insulate the box slightly to keep them batteries nice and warm and stop them from getting cold, because they don't perform as well when they get cold. So that unit there is going there. This is going over there as well. I'm going to put that underneath there and free up some of this space, because at the moment, Joe, I still haven't sorted all my toolboxes out yet. So the box I'm going to go and try and do is one that's just going to come to about here and just fill in this to about here. And the only reason why I want to box it in is to keep them warm and to stop anything from making contact with these. So lucky enough, I've had this line around the shed. So I'm open. This is going to be the perfect, and it is perfect length. I'm just going to box it in on the side, like so.
Now, I'm no DIY expert and there's probably a better way of doing things, but I try my best and muddle through. Normally I have a vision of what something is going to look like in my head and I just wing it and give it a go. That's all I can say is don't copy everything I do, as it's probably a safer way of doing it.
Cowboy way of doing things.
I know it's not perfect, but it does the job. That's going to protect them batteries. I'm going to insulate the inside of that now, so it's going to protect them batteries even more. I'm happy with that. To insulate it, I got like it's like bubble wrap, but it's like thick material as well, so it's like insulated. I'm going to staple that to the inside of this just to protect it. So that's that painted. I'm not going to give her another coat because it'll take forever for that to dry, and I just think at the time I just wanted it to blend in a bit better than just having a brown box on the wall. So that's that done. I'm happy with the way that's turned out. I'm just going to push it back against the wall and that's sorted. Next thing I'm going to do is put this cover back on, so that's nice and tidy, but I'm well happy with that. That looks so much better, and you can just about make out that it's a box there. The batteries are behind there, nice and tidy. The old ones, like I said, were up there, but they were out open to the cold air and things. So that's probably one of the reasons why they died as well. At least they are tucked away, nice and tidy, under there. I'm well happy with that. But we have got to sort this mess out, and I don't know what I'm going to do with this bench yet. But I want to put that tool chest there, so that's not taking up any room then, in that corner. And then I'll put one of them drawers underneath there. That'll free up a little bit more room.
The good thing about these storage cabinets from SGS is you can move them around in various combinations to suit your space. This is a fantastic feature that really helps you when you have limited space like me.
I think that's going to stick out quite a bit when the car's in there. That's going to stick out quite a bit. I thought I'd try it over that side. It looks pretty good that side now. But I really need this is because it's a good little workbench to work off. So one thing I want to add are these. These are what I use to do these. Okay. So it's a proper tool to crimp them in and that. Absolutely brilliant tool, and I highly recommend you getting one of them. I bought them as a set, and they come with this and some connectors. But this makes short work of any cables, and that's the cable I use, quite thick, if you can see that. I think I got them from Amazon, but they got different settings on there for different thicknesses. So well worth getting yourself a set of them. Hopefully now, after doing all this to this solar setup, you should be able to run this ramp perfectly fine. I'm hoping that this ramp is going to work with no issues now. The only way to do that is by testing it and seeing if it will work. Previously it do it once and that'll be it, but I want to get the Audi S1, check it on there for you guys so you can actually see the lift working just on battery power alone. Just to show you now, the generator is off, okay, It's not plugged in. Generator's off. Okay, it's just running on batteries. There. So I'm just gonna go and get the Audi S1, bring it in for you guys and see and show you working. So while I'm trying to get the Audi S1 on the ramp, why don't you forget to like the video and subscribe. It really does help. Please don't forget, I don't even know why I said that, but please subscribe, it really does help. I can't drive. Also, while I'm trying to park the Audi on the lift, I just wanted to tell you, I now have a members option that you can join if you wanted. You could become a member of the Valleys crew. You'll get badges and cool stuff like members only videos, on-screen shoutouts like this. Thank you Budget Bills for being the first member. Hopefully there's more to come. Now, talk about batteries going flat. The batteries in my phone went dead, so I couldn't do any more and show you how the lift works now. Now that I've got them batteries fitted, this lift should work as it should. I'm just going to raise it up and show you that this is running off solar panels and just batteries. Works absolutely perfect. I just wanted to show you. They're currently on 25 volts now and rising because it's obviously it's a bit of a sunny day, so people are interested in this sort of information. So I'll just go back to show you. So at the moment I'm getting 113 volts from the solar panels, 50 watts. Have a look, it's going back up slowly, so it is charging the batteries but very slowly. I haven't got my lights on, but as you can see there's no load on there now, but if I turn my lights on, my lights there, what this does, it actually draws power from the solar power first to run the lights before it takes it from the batteries. So it's a really good setup, plus obviously like I said, this is run with the generator as well. So finally I can say that this setup's going to work. I love the way that's blended in with the wall. Behind there the batteries, doesn't take up a lot of room, and if I wanted to I could put something there. And that's my setup. I've just put spare batteries up there for now, car batteries, there's nothing wrong with them. I've just put them up there to utilise that shelf. Obviously a space like this, when you're working on a small garage, you need as much floor space as possible. So that lift works perfectly now. Hopefully I won't need to do any more to this ramp or setup for a while. I was struggling with them batteries. Them batteries are going to be a massive difference to the garage, and it's going to get, I need them to start paying for themselves, so getting cars on the ramp now to get it to work. I need to start drawing in some money now, because obviously I've spent a lot on this setup and I need to start trying to make some money, hopefully. But like I said, I want to be a big thank you to the supplier of them batteries. But if there's any questions you want to ask, just put them in the comments below and I'll try and get back to everyone. I am grateful for everyone that's taken the time to like the videos and subscribe. I'll see you all in the next one for whatever project we're doing next.